always when I'm at work. Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for another update video. I'm going to try and get this out as quickly as I can because it just announced today for the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced. Big times all round, along with a couple of other tidbits Kingdom Hearts related. In fact, we're getting two games, in fact. Let's talk about the one that is actually kind of delayed. It's wrapping up Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. So we've got Dark Road. It was part of Union Cross on mobile devices, which originally was Unchained Key. Before then it was Key as a web browser game. It's a mess, but that game's no longer available, and you can't even play Dark Road right now until that update comes out, which is August, and I think it went offline August last year. So we were hoping for September, then December, and then sometime in spring this year, which we're already in, and now it's not even going to be until the end of summer, beginning of autumn this year. Wow, they're completely packing this final chapter to be an actual downloadable game sort of thing. So you won't have Union Cross really, it will just be Dark Road, but you'll have the cutscene viewer for that, and you also have back cover, which is most of Key in 3D. So that's interesting enough, but we're still waiting on that, so we can't do much about that. But that was for mobile devices. Now we have a new mobile game, which actually, well, it seems to actually use Unreal Engine 4, pretty much the exact same kind of graphical style that Kingdom Hearts 3 uses, and we're basically continuing where Union Cross left off at the very end after all the credits. That may be spoilers, but it is a direct continuation because you have the statue of Ephema, and you're kind of just your own Keyblade wielder again in this new Skull at Kylum that's not the white ones that, like the white Skull at Kylum that we're used to. It's probably like the ruins or whatever, or what was left over. I think they mentioned Skull at Kylum in the trailer. I'll probably be showing a couple of scenes and snippets. But yeah, this is mobile as well, and instead of having medals, we have trophies, and they would trigger special attacks that you would kind of see in a normal Kingdom Hearts game. But finally, a mobile Kingdom Hearts game that actually looks like the main series, because I will admit, when I saw the graphical style of Unchained Key back in the day when it first came out, I was like, these just look like the avatars from Kingdom Hearts Recoded. That you could just make a little caricature and out of pieces, and that's about it. You couldn't really do much else, and it was just like your thumbnail for when you connect to other people, which didn't get utilised very much. I used Nintendo Channel. You could like set up a download for a demo, and you would receive that as a level. It was kind of like a neat little thing that you could do. Unfortunately, I didn't get all 99 floors, and I kept trying to make it easy for myself, but I never actually finished that particular bit because I didn't get the big prize that was at the end for doing basically the whole of the multiplayer thing. Max them out. But of course, we have Kingdom Hearts 4, and it looks like it's still running on Unreal Engine 4. I say that as like it's basically using the previous game's engine, pretty much, because I mean the HUD looks pretty similar, unless that's just a mock-up. The moves and the attacks look similar, although there are some new ones. Apparently you can now use the keychain of the Keyblade as a lasso, so that's pretty cool. We're getting some Belmont in this shit. Sora looks hella different. Hopefully that's what he looks like in a year's time, but at the same time, Strelitzia who shows up, which is Laurium and Elrena's sister, which would also be known as their nobodies Malusha and Lorexine from the both versions of Organization 13 as little sister. We know that she got killed by Ventus. I'm dropping a lot of spoiler bombs here, but this is like story plot points that have been around for ages, so that's kind of a given. But yeah, Strelitzia kind of got axed, and her heart didn't get stolen or anything. She literally flat out died. And considering that, you know, Sora abused the power of waking to keep going into the final world, which is basically the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of heaven, the world beyond, or afterlife, I think what Strelitzia called it, the afterworld, as it were, Quadratum. Maybe it's like being reincarnated into what they think is unreality, according to what they know, but to us is reality. But now Heartless are appearing there as well, because we see a souped up dark side with wings show up, and Sora just runs straight in like the dude that he is. Absolute Chad starts going at it. Although it looked like he had a bit of trouble summoning his Keyblade there, which is a bit odd. Maybe he's losing his powers, but at the same time, if it's just for trailer purposes, he had those additional skills that he didn't have before. He starts off with flow motion, and it looks like his health and magic seem to be at roughly at a normal level, where if you like actually took level ups and stuff throughout the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3, looks quite similar to what you would have at a decent point. Maybe Sora's going to be super souped up. Who knows? But he's got a new design. His graphics design also looks a lot more Final Fantasy skewed, instead of like humanoid Disney sort of thing. Basically, he looks quite different, but he's still recognizable as Sora. But we don't hear him talk, really. We just see him rush in and take care of the Heartless that are spawning, which is actually looks like it's devouring people in cars. Things are definitely getting a bit more mature here. Also, the Heartless look quite different there. That is clearly a dark side. If it's in a different variant, or if it's going to be more stronger, I don't know. Or if that's just how dead sides look in Quadratum, which is the quote-unquote Verum Rex world. But we don't know how that connects to the ending of the limit cut. And the thing is, I can't exactly mention anything of what you actually see in that trailer at all without potentially spoiling the super secret ultra super final boss of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind Limit Cut. That is basically the episode's or secret episode, excuse me. Even so, it's literally just that one boss fight, and you are intended to lose. But if you can win, it kind of gets a role reversal switch. But at the same time, does that mean that Yozora is there? Maybe fighting the Heartless as well, perhaps? Did he knock out Sora so he would have, like, he would wake up in 7 days to be ready or something? Also, isn't that a bit odd that you just, like, kind of wake up to this lady who we know is dead, and Sora... I don't think Sora's dead. I think because of his punishment for using this ability, the ability auto-triggers him to go into this area, and he can't use that ability again to get out. So basically, he's in the afterworld, but he is not actually dead? Maybe? I'm not too sure. But they also mention that, hey, you've been asleep for 7 days. Hello, Quadratum, in 104 building where you battle Yozora. Shibuya. See you in Shibuya? Neku? Sakuraba from World Ends With You? Is there a connection here? Are we going to bump into Neku again as well? Is Quadratum basically the world name for... well, Japan, let's just say that. It includes Shibuya. It may have some other towns as well. Some rumours, actually, from what I've been seeing today, because, as I said, I'm at work, so I've only watched the trailer and then scrolled through Twitter, is people saying that it might be open world. An open world Kingdom Hearts game is quite a thing to think about, and that's going to be Kingdom Hearts 4, but then we're only going to be in the one world. Oh, I guess Chain of Memory technically takes place in one world, that's Castle Oblivion, but you do have various other places via the cards that just basically give the area a texture. But at the same time, if this is Kingdom Hearts 4, you got to have some variety. Maybe we go into forests or something, maybe we go into here, but it's all going to be like, maybe based off of real world locations this time? I don't know. Some people are also theorising that we're going to be seeing some Star Wars robots and droids, because of a picture of a foot that was caught in the side of a screenshot. I'll probably be bringing that up on screen. Tons of edits. Is this the excuse to bring more mature audiences in that Disney now owns, so we can have a bit of Star Wars in there? We can actually have our lightsaber Keyblade. I mean, hell, Yozora pretty much has quite technical weaponry. He has a sword that can transform into the Keyblade. And that's the thing, Sora can still use his Keyblade. He starts off with flow motion, or attraction flow as it's now called. So he still has his abilities, and I would assume that those kind of magical abilities aren't normal in this world. So I'm guessing Sora still retains all of his abilities for a change, because he always starts at level 1 and he's a little bit hodgepodge there. He was only asleep for 7 days. It's not like his memory got wiped or, you know, darkness hampered him. At this point, it was just like, hey, you've been brought over here, you got slapped up once by this dude who is ridiculous. I still haven't beaten him myself. And you've been knocked out for 7 days. But again, that 7 days thing makes me wonder, why 7 days? Yes, we have 7 lights. But at the same time, in the Kingdom Hearts world, as in their reality, if you played Melody of Memory for those 15 minutes only, which is no kind of surprise, because if you don't play rhythm games, you would kind of miss out on this information, so I'm going to spill it now. is that those events take place 1 year after Kingdom Hearts 3. So all that goes down. Sora's been gone for a year, and they're trying to find him, and they're delving, and throughout that year they've been delving into Kairi's memories. But the one thing that does perplex me, that a lot of people are saying something about Hades because of a blue flame. I thought that was a will-o'-the-wisp, where Donald and Goofy were walking through this dark area, and Donald gets spooked. I mean, I can't seem to find an English version of the cutscene. I mean, it's very early, so I would assume it's early. So it would be Japanese only, but apparently a lot of people are saying it's Hades. I don't know if it is actually the voice actor for Hades in Japan, so I have no idea. But it would make sense, because if Sora is dead, and the Fairy Godmother is saying that he was in the final world, that's where everybody goes when they die, basically. I think it was like Shadow Man then, with Deadside. Maybe that's where everyone in Quadratum goes. Anyway, off topic. It's like, there's the final world. Apparently the Fairy Godmother can go there without restriction. Sora has to use the power of Waking to get there. Fairy Godmother can just bring people there, but to go even further across the veil, apparently Riku can get there as well? Because that's how Melody of Memory ends. I was hoping that we were going to be actually having Kingdom Hearts 4 where we play as Kairi, but of course we have to play as Sora. He is the main character, so Kingdom Hearts 4 playing as Sora makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, if we're supposed to be going to different worlds and stuff, like what you would expect a mainline Kingdom Hearts game to do, because the side games normally focus on one location, Castle Oblivion, the Datascape, or the Journal of Kingdom Hearts 1. Sorry for my stutter there, that game is confusing. But we also then have Kairi's Brain, which is... Well, I say it's Kairi's Brain, it's like there's other bits there that Kairi wouldn't even be aware of in terms of music, but in terms of what actually counts, at the very end, Kairi's Brain. Going back to what I was trying to say with Donald and Goofy searching for someone, if that blue flame is Hades, because I thought will-o'-the-wisp, maybe they were in Brave or something, because that would work very well, considering we had the other new princess worlds like Frozen, and I was about to say Rapunzel then. It's actually not named off of the princesses anymore. It's now named with a unique name, so that would be Frozen and Tangled. But yeah, why not have a world based off of Brave? I thought they were like that, going through maybe like a in the middle of the night, just going through the forest, and then a will-o'-the-wisp shows up, and then they're kind of spooked, and it's like teasing that world, perhaps. But if we're supposed to be seeing Donald and Goofy going around worlds, and we also know that Kairi's supposed to be practicing or training with Aqua, and Mickey's supposed to be exploring Scala at Kylum, who are we actually going to play as for the main travel portions if Sora is trapped in Quadratum? I feel like the game's going to be split into two. Maybe even 3. Maybe we'll play as the whole Destiny trio this time. Here's my thought. We know that Riku has tried to go to Quadratum in order to rescue Sora. So, if Riku is supposed to be also in Quadratum, are we going to play like a two-story sort of thing once again, like in Dream Drop Distance, where we can swap between the two of them to try and get them to meet up, and it's such a massive open world sort of thing? So the Quadratum's the open world part of the game, but then we have the usual Kingdom Hearts experience where, you know, the only one of the Destiny trio, that being Sora, Riku, and Kairi, we play as Kairi, and she's with Donald and Goofy, and going around the place and doing all that. That also brings another factor. Sora has the Kingdom Key, and that's like the Realm of Light's main Keyblade. Like that's literally the Keyblade of the Realm of Light. But Sora's not exactly there anymore. Is that why he's struggling to summon the weapon now? Is that why? Because that's his signature Keyblade, so he could just summon it. Maybe it's just for cinematics of the trailer. I'm not too sure, but it looked like that he was trying to summon it while running, and it took a while. I don't know if that actually means anything. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that. But we also know that Xion, originally being a replica, now has a replica Keyblade of the Realm of Light. So maybe she's now the designated, like, wielder of that particular Keyblade, because we know that Mickey has the Kingdom Key D. Is there now a replica Kingdom Key D? Can Riku use that? I don't even know. But, again, maybe I'm looking too deep into that sort of thing. But then again, this is Kingdom Hearts. The lore can get deep. Ridiculously deep. So I have no idea. We can only theorize at this point. And ironically enough, I've been waffling on for a while, theorising, longer than I expected. These always go longer than I expected. Don't know how much I'm going to chop off, because I was kind of like all over the place, my phone was blaring. So, yeah, I think that is just going to do for this for now, because there's not much else I can talk about. It's mostly theorising about that little bit. First review of Kingdom Hearts 4. Also the logo. I want to mention the logo. a lot more less fancy looking and a lot more straight to the point. This is Kingdom Hearts 4, sharpened to the point. It's no longer that curvy, fancy logo. Obviously, we still have that for Dark Road and especially the missing links. But this is for Kingdom Hearts 4. I think the change of logo, or even the font for the logo, is literally telling us that, hey, we're now on the Lost Masters arc. Xehanort's done. After Dark Road, we know his past. It's all wrapped up. We've got to get the other Masters from before his time over to Kingdom Hearts 4, which is Union Cross in general. And that's what the Missing Link is a direct continuation of. So we've got 2 direct sequels coming out soon. And I think that's pretty hype. Also, if you haven't noticed, I got through a whole video without dropping a frame. Yeah, my camera is now 60 frames. I don't know what I did. I kind of messed with, like, exposure and gain. I just turned gain to 0 and turned off auto exposure focus. And for some reason, not only has that not made it a barely functioning 30 frames, it's given me full complete 30, which is crazy. And this is still my old webcam that I've been trying to get working for ages. I just thought I'm going to just try everything before I start this video and see what happens. And voila! I've fixed the issue, so I'm very chuffed. And yeah, so with that, guys, I think I'll see you next time for whatever we do on the channel. I've got some videos that I need to do before I start with Banjo-Kazooie. I'll see you guys next time.